P to the ParkourDude91 coming at you again with another video. Ha! Yeah, I know it's been a while since my last video, but like I just wanted to hit up YouTube. You know, I just been getting like, this is my fan mail questions number 3. So this is gonna be stuff you guys have sent in back home to me. Gotta answer your questions about, you know, like guns and just stuff like that. So, you know, let's go. Micah asked, I have recently picked up free running as a hobby. Any tips for protection when I get into those intense street fights? I tried the Deagle, but it is too heavy and messes up with my airspeed velocity. Well, man, I don't like know where you live or anything, but I've never gotten into a fight or anything like when I was free running. You know, mostly it's just cops giving me a hard time. I mean, like, but I've never actually had to fight anyone before. I mean, like, I'm guessing you live in a pretty fucked up neighborhood, dude. Like, I mean, and yes, I do agree that the Deagle is a very heavy gun. And it may not seem basically like a lot when it's holstered, but after 2 blocks of running, it gets really annoying. I don't use a real one when I'm free running. I use an airsoft replica for safety purposes. I don't want to be, you know, climbing a fence or something that like I kneecap myself. Like, I mean, like that would slow you down more than, you know, how heavy the gun is, you know, missing a leg. Like, but yeah, like you have to try to be very safe when you're doing free running, because if you fuck it up, you can hurt yourself pretty easily. You know, I've learned that the hard way before. But yeah, I always use an airsoft replica. I mean, the one I use is very realistically weighted and heavy to, you know, basically prepare me for the real thing if the need ever arises. So I know what you're saying, dude. But I don't think you would throw off like your balance too much or velocity or whatever. If that's actually happening, then your holster is probably just it's just too loose. I would recommend tightening it, because it really shouldn't flop around or move around at all when you run or do a jump. That can distract you a lot and take your attention away from landing safely, which is a big problem. This is kind of unrelated, but just a tip. I also don't recommend having anything on your back when you're free running, like a small backpack or anything, because this makes rolls impossible to do, pretty much. And using skill rolls when you land from a high place is really important to keeping yourself from getting hurt from those kind of jumps. So, I mean, yeah, like parkour is a great sport, really keeps you in great shape, teaches you, you know, it builds up your natural agility. It's a great sport, but you can actually harm yourself very badly if you aren't smart about it. So safety is always your #1 priority. That's the first thing you need to know. Just like, you know, shooting. I mean, it's the same thing. Like you should always know the laws for, you know, the tips for, you know, shooting safely, like trigger discipline, never aim at someone you don't want to shoot, you know, stuff like that. It's the same for parkour. Only, you know, they don't actually teach you that kind of stuff when you start parkour. You need to learn it yourself. So, you know, that's what I'm here for. So, I mean, anyone else who's also starting free running as a hobby or anything, get in touch with me. I'll guide you through the ropes. I've kind of been doing this for like 5 years. You know, I'm pretty fucking good at it. But yeah, I mean, you know, when I first started free running with like weapons, I had like, just for practice and stuff, I had the same problem. I mean, there's really no way around it. The same problem with your gun moving around too much, like or your knife. You really have to invest in a good holster to prevent those kinds of problems. Like, I keep my Deagle in a thigh holster when I'm free running, like right here. I know it's not very discreet or concealable, but when you see a guy vault over a 10-foot fence with an Affliction hoodie and a Deagle stuck in his leg, and he just gets up and like looks at you, it just screams like, don't fuck with me, dude. And you just have one of those badass moments where you just like, everyone just looks at you in like this stunned silence, and you just turn your head and walk away slowly. Ronnie asks you, hey Jace, as a big fan of the site, I did have a question. Is it true 50 AE? Is it true that AE and 50 AE stands for African Eliminator? Hope all is well and keep up the good work, Ronnie. This is a common misconception. I've gotten like 3 fan mail questions about this already since I started the site. I haven't heard about it until I pretty much came online, so I think it's like an internet thing. But it's not true. The Deagle, first off, was made in Israel by Magnum Research, which means Deagle ammo is Israeli, not African. It has nothing to do with Africa, and the E stands for Express, not Eliminator. So 50 AE stands for Action Express. African Eliminator, I've heard that before on the internet, but that's not the actual acronym for it that people use in real life. Nor is it a real caliber. So basically, you know, I think it's just slang or something, or like an inside joke. I don't really, you know much about it, but if I had to guess, it would probably be, you know, that I would think there were some wars in Africa or something where they used a lot of 50 AE rounds. You know, I really don't know. I don't know. But in any case, just say Action Express. People will know what you mean. Well, it looks like I got a delivery. A FedEx truck just pulled up. Hot. Alright, yeah. Tony submitted, "Yo, Jace, I see you're aspiring to become a future Navy SEAL. You look like you're in pretty good shape, all thick and tight and stuff. Could you give any tips on how to become SEAL fit? What's your workout schedule like? Do you lift weights? How many miles do you run per day and week? How many push-ups and sit-ups should I be able to do in 2 minutes? How many can you do?" I'm just looking for some information to better help myself, and it seems as if you can answer some, if not all, of these questions. Thanks, pal. From Tony. Well, another good question. Basically, my workout schedule is I do 3 martial arts katas a day. 1 in the morning, afternoon, and night. Because this just keeps me active throughout the day. I don't fall into a slump or something of being tired, because I just keep myself moving. First I stretch, and then I do high kicks, spin kicks, blocks, especially a star block, because it's essentially all the common, this was, I believe, from Kempo. It's, you go high, left, right, and then low. It's a star block. Naturally you wouldn't use it in a real fight, but like, because people aren't going to attack you in all 4 places at once, but it is good for the muscle memory to remember, you know, high block I go here, left here, outward, and then low to protect my legs, you know. So that's just a good, I do, yeah, and I do punches and horse stance, which that sort of that just keeps your legs muscles ready when I go back into kicks, because with high kicks in Taekwondo, it really just stretches out your legs a lot, and that can be painful. That can lead to like cramps and stuff if you're not warmed up already. So the horse stance is good for that. I'll do rounds of like 200 punches, you know. Then to round it all off, I practice different stances and strike techniques. Like this is the Dragon Claw. With this, you can do it like an open palm strike, or you can go in like this, and the smaller surface area of the hands and the knuckles means that it'll hurt more than just a regular punch if you can land it. I do palm strikes and chops, and naturally just fists. Lately, I started to practice, you know, shooting stance, quick drawing, speed reloading, stuff like that. That's not really martial arts, but it's still good to know. Again, I use my airsoft Deagle for that. I don't use a real gun for safety purposes. You know, like I said, the airsoft one I have really mimics the weight and feel of a real Deagle. And yes, trolls, I do know what a real Deagle feels like in my hands. I've shot several at my range before, and in fact, they have all surpassed my expectations of the gun. So, they are not bad guns at all, no matter what you guys are going to say in this video in the comments, I'm sure. But yeah, all this stuff keeps me in pretty good shape, and sometimes I like, you know, I'll ride my bike through my town and stuff like that, which also helps. But I don't do that on like a schedule basis. You said you wanted to be SEAL fit. I mean, that's a pretty tall order, dude. You want to know what you're getting into, really. And I know how hard that is to reach for that high of a standard. I mean, personally, the #1 reason why I haven't enlisted yet is because I want to be able to survive Hell Week. So I've been doing weight training and stuff to help that. just help my chances. I do lift weights. I have two 25-pound weights that I use for conditioning. Keep up my natural stamina. I bought them like a year ago. They're not heavy enough for what I'm doing now, and so I've been meaning to get some new ones, like maybe 50 pounds or 30 pounds or something. I don't know about push-ups or sit-ups to be in the spec ops. I know they make you do a lot of push-ups, but I don't know exactly how many. Sorry, I can't really help you there, dude. And I don't really do push-ups. I prefer pull-ups because I just do push-ups with my hands. My brother has these things, these kind of like little brace things that like you hold onto them and you push up with them, and it sort of it doesn't hurt your hands when you do it, but I don't have those, and whenever I do it, it sort of just like locks up my wrist, and it's kind of like a pain in the ass. But I have a pull-up bar in my basement that I just use instead, and it's basically the same thing. I can do about 25 pull-ups or so without stopping. So yeah, that about wraps up my question and answer of the week. I mean, I know this one's pretty late, sorry guys. I was doing Thanksgiving stuff. I'm going to be, yeah, that's it. I'm going to be splitting up my questions and answers into smaller bits, basically. Just to keep the video length lower, because I don't want people to have to sit here for 20 minutes watching me blab at them. I just like, I don't want to talk your ear off. But I will still have Q&As once a week. Alright, yeah, cool. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe for more sickness. Its URL is ParkourDude91.tumblr.com. Got it right there. Just type in your browser and you'll go to my site. It's my Tumblr. I post some really cool stuff there. And for questions of the week, you can go to the page Deagle Facts. Write in your question, and I will answer it in a week if I have time. So yeah, write me in, and I'll answer your question. Yeah. So all right, cool. Yeah, just make sure to rate, comment, subscribe for more sickness. All right, yeah, it's Peter the ParkourDude91 signing off. Semper Fidelis.